Let us learn how to factor quadratic expressions using the box method. We're going to explain quadratic expressions. We're going to look at the steps that we follow to use the box method, and then we're going to apply the steps with some examples. So generally, a quadratic expression has three terms. The quadratic term, which is the one that has the x squared. The linear term has the x, and then the constant term is just a number. So if we look at the example here, you can see ax squared, this is your quadratic term. Bx is your linear term, and c, this is your constant. And always remember, a cannot be equal to 0. A must be a non-zero term or non-zero number. Now we're going to look at the steps. The first thing you want to do is write the expression in the form. This is the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to draw a 2 by 2 square. And we put the first term in the upper left corner. So let's look at a 2 by 2 square, something that looks like this. So we're going to put our ax squared here, and we're going to put our c right here, and then we're going to multiply the first two terms together. So this is going to give us acx squared, okay? And then we're trying to find two factors of acx squared that add up to b. And then we'll put the factors in the remaining squares and then simplify, factor the linear expressions or the expressions that show up. Now let's look at some examples and see how we can apply this. So we have, I'm going to draw our square right here. Let's draw this square. So we need a 2 by 2. I'm going to try as much as possible to see if I can get a square out of this. So we have 2 by 2. The first thing we're going to do is we put our quadratic term in the top left corner. So 6x squared. And then our constant term in the bottom right corner, -4. So now what we need to do is to multiply 6x squared. So 6x squared and -4, 6x squared multiplied by -4 is going to give us -24x squared. Now, what are the possible factors of -24x squared that could give you -5x? Rather, when you add them together, give you -5x. So look at some potential factors. We have 1 and 24. I can't see any way to get 5 out of that. 2 and 12. No way. 3 and 8. So let's put the x right here just so that we can be more precise. So we can see 3 and 8. 3 and 8. 3x and 8x. We want a -5. Because we want a -5, it means the larger number has to be negative. So we have -8x plus 3x. So now we're going to factor across 6x squared and 8x. We have a common factor of 2x, and you're going to have 6x squared divided by 2x, we have 3x, minus 8x divided by 2x, we have -4. Now we have 3x and -4. There are no common factors except 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine them together. So we have 3x minus 4 is one factor there. And then we have 2x minus 1. So therefore, 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. There's an error somewhere. Actually, it's a +1. It's not a -1. So it's a +1 here. This is going to be equal to 3x minus 4 and then 2x plus 1. Based on the oversight here, you can see that it's very important to make sure you have the signs on your terms. So that is that. Let's try another example. This is x squared minus 9x plus 18. So let's draw a square. 2 by 2 has 4 cells. We have our x squared right here, and then we have 18 at the bottom right here. So this is going to give us 18x squared. We have 1x and 18x. We can do much with that. 2x and 9x. We can do much with that. What about 3x and 6x? We can see that somehow we can get a 9 from there, but we want a negative 9, so there will be a negative sign in front of each of those two terms. So this is minus 6x, this is minus 3x. So now let's factor across. So we have x is a common factor here, and then we have x minus 6, and here the common factor is going to be minus 3, and then you have x and you have minus 6. So therefore x squared minus 9x plus 18 is equal to x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 6. Another example. Let's start by drawing our 2 by 2 square, and we place our 10x squared top left and then minus 6 bottom right. And so we have negative, we're going to multiply the 10x squared by the negative 6, so we have negative 60x squared. So let's look at our factors. We have 1x and 60x. There's no way to get 11 out of that. 2x and 30x. We don't have 11 anyway. We manipulate that. And we have 3x, 20x. We can get an 11 from that. 4x, 15x. We can get an 11, so we want a positive 11. So therefore, our negative sign is going to be on the 4. So we have minus 4x, and then we have 15x. This is a plus 15x. So let's factor across. The common factor here would be 2x. 10x squared divided by 2x, we have 5x. Minus 4x divided by 2x, we have minus 2. And then let's come over to the bottom row. We factor this. The common factor here is going to be plus 3. We divide 15x by 3, we get 5x. Minus 6 divided by 3, we have minus 2. So therefore, 10x squared plus 11x minus 6 equal to 5x minus 2 multiplied by 2x plus 3. And then a final example. We start off with our box. 2 by 2 box. 2 by 2 square. Okay, so we're going to put our 6th quadratic term, which is 6x squared, in the top left corner, and then our constant term in the bottom right corner. Actually, this should be a 15, not a 5. So it's a 15 here. And so we multiply 6x squared by 15. That's going to give us 90x squared. So our factors are 1x and 90x. We can get 21 anyway we manipulate that. 2x and 45x, we can get 21. We have 3x and 30x, we can get 21. 5x and 18x, we can get 21 that way. 6x and 15x. So we're going to use 6x and then we're going to use 15x. So this is a plus here. So now we factor across, we have 6x, and then we have x plus 1, and then we have plus 15, and then we have x plus 1. So therefore 6x squared plus 21x plus 15 is equal to 6x plus 15 x plus 1. And if you want to get creative, you could also factor 6x plus 15, and you have it as 3, 2x plus 5, and then x plus 1. So both of these are exactly the same.